we're diving into a complex but vital topic, the economic state of Black America. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore the strides made by Black Americans over recent decades, the persistent challenges they face, and how their experiences compare to those of Black communities in Europe and Africa. We'll also examine the role geopolitics plays in shaping economic opportunities. Please subscribe to our channel and help us create more content. Now, let's unpack this critical conversation. First, let's acknowledge the progress. Over the last few decades, Black Americans have made significant advancements in areas such as education, entrepreneurship, and political representation. The percentage of Black Americans with college degrees has steadily increased, rising from about 11% in 1990 to nearly 28% today. This educational progress has translated into growing representation in professional fields, leadership roles, and business ownership. The growth in Black entrepreneurship is particularly noteworthy. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there were over 3.1 million Black-owned businesses in 2022, a dramatic increase from previous decades. Many of these businesses are in sectors like healthcare, technology, and entertainment, reflecting the diverse talents and contributions of Black entrepreneurs. Additionally, Black women have emerged as the fastest-growing group of entrepreneurs in the U.S. Black Americans also wield significant consumer power. With an estimated buying power of $1.6 trillion in 2022, the Black community is a formidable economic force. This spending power has not only driven cultural influence, but has also begun reshaping industries and markets. Despite these strides, substantial challenges remain. One of the most glaring issues is the racial wealth gap. In 2022, the median wealth of a white family in the U.S. was roughly 8 times that of a Black family. This disparity is rooted in historical injustices like slavery, segregation, and redlining, which excluded Black Americans from wealth-building opportunities for generations. Employment disparities also persist. While the overall unemployment rate in the U.S. has decreased, Black workers continue to face higher unemployment rates than their white counterparts. Additionally, Black Americans are disproportionately represented in lower-wage jobs, even when they have similar levels of education. This occupational segregation limits income growth and contributes to the wealth gap. Access to capital remains another critical barrier. Black entrepreneurs often struggle to secure loans and investment capital compared to their white peers. Structural biases in banking and venture capital disproportionately impact Black business owners, forcing many to rely on personal savings or community funding to start or sustain their businesses. Now let's broaden the lens and compare the economic status of Black Americans with Black communities in Europe and Africa. While the contexts differ significantly, some commonalities and contrasts are worth noting. In Europe, Black communities, often comprising immigrants and their descendants, face economic marginalization. Countries like the UK, France, and Germany have reported significant racial pay gaps, with Black workers earning less than their white counterparts. Discrimination in hiring practices and limited upward mobility mirror challenges seen in the US. However, Europe's social safety nets, including universal health care and stronger worker protections, provide a level of economic security that many Black Americans lack. In Africa, the picture is complex and varied. Many African nations are experiencing rapid economic growth, driven by industries like technology, agriculture, and natural resources. However, colonial legacies, corruption, and geopolitical interference continue to stifle equitable development. Urban centers like Lagos, Nairobi, and Johannesburg showcase thriving middle classes and robust entrepreneurial ecosystems, but rural areas often remain impoverished and underdeveloped. Interestingly, the African diaspora plays a crucial role in bridging economic gaps. Remittances from Black Americans and other diaspora communities contribute billions annually to African economies. This transnational flow of resources highlights the interconnectedness of Black economic experiences across the globe. Geopolitics significantly influences economic opportunities for Black communities. In the U.S., trade policies, tax reforms, and global economic shifts often disproportionately impact Black workers and businesses. For example, the decline of manufacturing jobs due to globalization hit Black communities in cities like Detroit and Cleveland particularly hard. These jobs, which once provided stable incomes and pathways to the middle class, have been replaced by precarious service sector roles. On a global scale, geopolitical dynamics shape the economic fortunes of Black majority nations and communities. Trade agreements, foreign aid, and investments often come with strings attached, limiting their benefits. For instance, African nations have historically been locked into extractive trade relationships, exporting raw materials while importing finished goods at a premium. This dynamic stifles industrialization and economic self-sufficiency. At the same time, Black entrepreneurs and leaders are leveraging globalization to create new opportunities. The rise of technology and e-commerce has enabled Black-owned businesses to reach global markets, while initiatives like the African Continental Free Trade Area aim to boost intra-African trade and economic integration. These developments demonstrate the potential of collective action and innovation in overcoming systemic barriers. So where do we go from here? Addressing the economic challenges faced by Black Americans and Black communities globally requires a multifaceted approach. First, policy reforms are essential. In the U.S., targeted investments in education, affordable housing, and small business support can help narrow the wealth gap. Expanding access to capital through initiatives like community development financial institutions and crowdfunding platforms can empower Black entrepreneurs. Second, corporate accountability is crucial. Companies must commit to diversity and inclusion, not only in hiring, but also in leadership and procurement practices. Supporting Black-owned businesses through supply chain partnerships and equitable funding can drive meaningful change. Third, global solidarity matters. Strengthening ties between Black communities in the diaspora and on the African continent can amplify economic opportunities. Initiatives like Diaspora bonds, which allow overseas communities to invest in African infrastructure projects, are a promising example. Finally, we must recognize the power of collective action. From grassroots movements advocating for reparations to international coalitions demanding fair trade policies, Black communities have consistently demonstrated their ability to drive systemic change. By building on this legacy of resilience and activism, we can work toward a more equitable economic future. In conclusion, the economic state of Black America is a story of progress and persistence. While strides have been made, significant challenges remain, challenges that are deeply intertwined with historical injustices and contemporary systems of inequality. By addressing these issues head-on and drawing on the strength of global connections, we can chart a path toward economic equity and empowerment for Black communities everywhere. Let's continue the conversation in the comments. What steps do you think are most important for advancing economic equity in Black communities? Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into critical topics.